Dear students, let us begin with the second part of the lesson and discuss about India's role in SAARC. India has hosted 3 out of the 18 SAARC summits held so far. The second summit held in Bangalore in 1986, the 8th summit held in New Delhi in 1995 and the 14th summit held in New Delhi in 2007. India, the strongest member economically, militarily and demographically, has been unable to foment a spirit of togetherness in the regional organization despite its association in the neighborhood. India has also been criticized for having hegemony over the water sharing of rivers in South Asia and for unresolved fishing issues with Sri Lanka. According to the SAARC Charter, the goal of the organization was to contribute to mutual trust, understanding and appreciation of one another's problems. India and Pakistan were initially skeptical of the formation of a regional organization when one was proposed by the other South Asian countries in 1981 at a foreign ministers meeting in Colombo. However, both laid aside their suspicions and supported the establishment of the SAARC in 1983 in Dhaka. They joined the other 5 nations in signing the Declaration on South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. The member countries also launched the Integrated Program of Action, which outlined the 5 areas of cooperation between SAARC countries, namely agriculture, rural development, telecommunications, meteorology and health and population activities. SAARC brought conflict-stricken states closer by negotiation and opened up ways for intra-SAARC trade relations. However, contrary to all expectations, SAARC did not proceed as expected. The Gujarat Doctrine had the objective of extending beneficial concessions as well as adopting an overall accommodating and generous policy approach towards neighbors without expecting reciprocity. Under this doctrine, several economic concessions were extended to South Asian countries which benefited the regional economies. In the case of Nepal, the constraint of the value added component imposed on Nepal's products for duty-free entry into India were reduced from 80 to 50%. Now, even that has been removed. Following the Gujarat Doctrine, India announced at the 1997 Malé Summit to unilaterally withdraw restraints to entry to India for all exports from South Asian region, including Pakistan. This policy helped India to improve its bilateral relations with Nepal, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, but its relations with Pakistan remained mired in traditional animosity. Persistent India-Pakistan differences on the other member states perceiving India's position as a regional hegemon shattered prospects for trust building. Besides, not allowing contentious bilateral issues for negotiations created a state of permanent deadlock at the SAARC. Post the Kargil conflict, India's relations with Pakistan further deteriorated due to escalation in cross-border terrorism in the state of Jammu and Kashmir that has continued to be a bone of contention between India and Pakistan since the time of independence. The India-Pakistan issue has raised questions about regional harmony, national interest and security interests. The conflict led to the postponement of the 11th SAARC summit for a very long time as India viewed peace dialogue with Pakistan as untenable as long as the latter continued its proxy war with India in the form of cross-border terrorism. The last SAARC summit was held in Kathmandu in 2014 and was attended by both India and Pakistan. However, the summit that was supposed to be conducted in Islamabad in 2016 was called off when terrorists alleged to be harbored by Pakistan attacked the Indian Army camp at Uri in Jammu and Kashmir. India expressed its inability to participate, citing prevailing circumstances. Thereafter, Bhutan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh too condemned the attacks and refused to participate. SAARC has been in a declining state, unable to hold any meeting or convene talks until the breakthrough initiated by India in 2020 in the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic for discussion on how to combat the health crisis at the regional level. Apart from Pakistan, the other regional states also perceive India's role as mostly hegemonic, with some regional consciousness displayed at times. Smaller countries are intimidated by India's economic, military and political capacity. India's nuclear capabilities also stand in the way of mutual trust. Dynamism is the most basic quality of leadership, which has been largely absent from India's performance of its responsibilities. India has shown reluctance for updating the Indo-Nepal Treaty of 1950 even after repeated requests from Nepal. During Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit in 2014, he promised to look into the revision and updation of the treaty, but nothing significant has been done yet. Instead, the economic blockade from India of essential food and medical supplies in response to the agitation of the Madhesis in Nepal over the promulgation of a new constitution of Nepal in 2015 further strained ties between them. India fought shoulder to shoulder for the liberation of Bangladesh, which is a key undeniable cornerstone in their relationship. However, there are some issues of irritation, including water sharing agreements, illegal migration over porous borders, and recently Bangladesh's joining of the Belt Road projects of China, to name a few. Some issues have been resolved, but several issues continue to irk the relationship between India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh is aligning with China to balance India to make the best of a bad situation. Similarly, the relationship with Sri Lanka has been equally gloomy post the military intervention by Indian peacekeeping forces in 1989 as a reaction to resolve the Sinhala Tamil conflict. The conflict led to a failed peace process with a catastrophic end, culminating in the assassination of former Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi in 1991. Thereafter, India has been cautious in deciding how much to interfere in the internal affairs of other countries. It has turned down several requests made by Sri Lanka for supply of specialized weaponry to combat LTTE terrorists, which had to instead be procured from Pakistan and China. I hope you understood about India's role in SAARC. We will continue our discussion in the next video along with understanding India's role in BBIN. Thank you.